What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Nerd Corner. I'm Little Sasakura, the kid that never knows best, and in today's video I want to talk to you all about Dragon Ball FighterZ, because I'm sure most of you at this point who are interested in Dragon Ball FighterZ or know of the game or keep up with it are aware of the whole situation going on with licensing and tournaments being cancelled and what have you. And the most important thing I want to do in this video is clear up a lot of the misinformation that is currently surrounding this whole situation, because there's quite a bit of it out there, and you know, I'm not innocent myself. I have contributed to it myself with my own ignorance and my own slips of the tongue, such as, you know, name dropping Toei when I know better and know that Shueisha are the ones who own the IP for Dragon Ball, and that's them behind this and so on and so on. But yeah, those are the type of things I want to get into. So that being said, first things first, I think the most important thing, or one of the most important things, I guess, and the thing I should start off with, is to acknowledge the fact that this is not a Toei decision, this is not a Bandai Namco decision, this is not an Akira Toriyama decision, this is not an Arc System Works decision. This is all the result of the actions of Shueisha, which is the company that owns the rights to Dragon Ball. They own the IP. They have even more power than Toei does. Toei is just the animation studio. They're the ones who make the Dragon Ball anime. They made Dragon Ball Super and GT and Dragon Ball Z and the Dragon Ball, you know, the cartoon that you watch. That's Toei. Akira Toriyama, obviously the mangaka. Bandai Namco, they're just the publishers of games like Xenoverse and Dragon Ball FighterZ, and Arc System Works are obviously just the developers of fighters. So when it comes down to who's responsible for this whole little fiasco, if you want to call it that, that's going on right now, it's Shueisha. So if you're pointing fingers at anyone, it should be them, but that doesn't mean go kicking down their doors with torches and pitchforks in hands, because that's not the way to solve the situation. I think the second thing that I want to touch on is that this does not mean that the game is dead. Now, there is cause for concern, and if people are alarmed, I understand. I'm concerned and I'm alarmed at the whole situation, but we shouldn't all just go writing up Dragon Ball FighterZ as dead, because it's an incredibly popular and incredibly fun game. It won Fighting Game of the Year at the Video Game Awards. It won ESPN's Esport Game of the Year. It's by far the most popular fighting game of 2018. It's Arc System Works' best game that they've ever released in terms of sales and numbers and popularity. Like, it's huge, right? And something like this is not going to be the downfall of this game unless it goes to an extreme, which I don't think it's going to. Now, does this whole situation have the potential to ruin fighters from an esports scene, a competitive scene and shit like that? Yeah, but I don't think it's going to get that out of hand, and I see a lot of people who are kind of taking things and running with it in the direction that the game's dying or already dead, and that Shueisha is just completely ruining it and things like that. And again, I'm you know, guilty of contributing to that myself, but I think it's one of those things where, you know, as a content creator and having made a video that kind of gained a lot of traction with Rhymestyle, which I'll link to in the description below if you guys do want to see that, you kind of sometimes underestimate the power that your words have as a content creator and as someone with a following, and underestimate the extent people will take those words and run with it or misconstrue it or twist it into something else. And it's not just to excuse it, but I do think it is something to acknowledge it. That's just more of a note to self, if nothing else. But yeah, so I just want people to understand that this is not the end of Dragon Ball FighterZ. This game is a massive commercial success. It's incredibly popular. It's incredibly fun, and this is not going to be the end. And this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. There was, you know, there was a time where Nintendo tried to do something similar with Smash Brothers, and lo and behold, it didn't work out. And you're still seeing Smash Brothers, whether it be Melee, Ultimate, Brawl, or whatever. You know, they're still at tournaments to this day. Well, obviously, you know, all of 2018, you were seeing Melee and Smash 4. It was still at, you know, regular tournaments that were at EVO and everything, and going into next year, you'll probably see Ultimate and Melee everywhere, whatever. But the point is, like, Nintendo tried to do something similar like this. It didn't work out. The game ended up being just fine. Melee has continued to live its seemingly immortal life to this day, right? So that's just something else that I wanted to touch on. Now, if you're not really aware of the situation, you don't really know what's going down, long story short, essentially there are some licensing issues going on right now with Shueisha in the Dragon Ball FighterZ game, where Shueisha has been sending out cease and desist orders to certain events and forcing them to pull the game from their lineup, saying that they can't stream it or have it at their event, and so on and so forth. Allegedly, I've been hearing people say that Shueisha wants to charge a licensing fee in order to have the game at the event, and the number that I've seen get thrown around is $25,000. I was not able to find a source on that, but that is a number that I've seen people throwing around, but take that one with a grain of salt. But yeah, there were tournaments such as DreamHack, Anime Ascension, and even EVO Japan, which is one of the biggest tournaments that there is, you know, that were forced to remove the game from the lineup. Now, could this spiral into something much bigger than what it currently is? Absolutely, but like I said earlier, I want to stress that this is not, you know, the death of the game. Could it be? Yes, but I don't think it's going to get that far. And at the point that it's at now, it hasn't even been affecting everybody, and it hasn't been affecting local tournaments. You know, Wednesday Night Fights is still going on. NLBC in New York is still going on every week. You know, Team Spooky hosts that every Wednesday in New York. You know, like, there's still plenty of tournaments to be had. I believe FighterZ is still going to be at Kumite in Tennessee in January. Of course, the Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour is still going on, which is officially like, you know, Bandai run circuit for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and you know that's on January 26th and 27th. 26th for the LCQs, 27th for the World Finals, and I can only imagine that they will continue to support the game. We'll probably see a Season 2 announcement for DLC at the World Finals. You know, the game will get a sequel, more content, so on and so forth, and we'll probably even see another World Tour next year. I don't even think it's far-fetched to say we'll probably see some of the power for Dragon Ball FighterZ as well, especially considering how well the last one went. But yeah, that's that. I know it's been a minute since I made a video, but this is something that I care a lot about and I'm very passionate about, and I definitely felt like I needed to take some responsibility and just speak up a little bit more with the voice that I do have, because I do feel like I contributed to some of the misinformation and some of the storm that I do see on social media. Even if it was only a little bit, I still felt the need to rectify it in some way and contribute as much as to the proper information to the best of my ability, because I care a lot about this game. I love this game a lot. I love the community for it, and I don't want people getting the wrong ideas, and it really does hurt me personally, like on a personal, well, that's redundant to say, but it does hurt me personally when I see people saying certain things just because they are misinformed, and it hurts even worse knowing that I may have contributed to that, whether it be directly or indirectly. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. This video doesn't need to go on for too long. But yeah, so just to wrap things up, it's not Toei, it's Shueisha. This is not the end of the game. The game's probably still going to get more content. It's probably still going to be seen at tournaments. I don't think it's going to get as out of hand as people are believing. Dragon Ball FighterZ isn't dead, not by a long shot. The game's entirely too big. You're still going to see it at tournaments. You're still going to see it at locals. And worst thing comes to worst, you're still going to see it at majors like EVO and probably other majors as well. But I don't even think our minds should be there right now. I do think it is fine to speculate and things, and that's why I made that video with Rhymestyle. That's why I've talked about it on Twitter a little bit. That's why I've been discussing it with people in Twitch chat. It is something that we should be talking about. It's something that we should be aware of, and there is cause for concern, and it's okay to be a little bit alarmed, but I do think people are jumping the gun quite a bit. That's kind of something that I wanted to try to help like tone down and pull back. Because I feel like people are going a little far with it. And then, not to mention, I've seen people, you know, talking recklessly to Toei on social media and then sending, you know, angry tweets to Bandai and Arc System Works when I know that they're not the ones responsible for that. So I wanted to try, you know, to stop as much of that as I possibly can. So yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit this video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all this content I'm going to bring you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today. And remember, nothing can happen to you swinging the bat. Later. Alright, now hold up. I ain't see this coming. This is a pretty big deal. I had to add this on into the video. So this video was made at like 2:30 in the morning. I'm a night owl, don't judge me. But yeah, I had it rendering. I had it pretty much complete, but it's now 3 o'clock in the morning, and as I'm waiting for the video to render, I get on Twitter to see Lord Katsuhiro Harada on the timeline. And for those of you who don't know who Katsuhiro Harada is, he's actually a game director, you know, chief producer. He's been working on Tekken for over 20+ years. But yeah, so Lord Katsuhiro Harada gets on Twitter, drops a tweet longer on the TL. Obviously, I'm interested right away. I click on this tweet longer. I click on this tweet longer to find out that it's pretty relevant to the topic at hand. So I had to cancel the render for my video and add this in because it's pretty important information. It's a pretty big deal. It's something that I did not see coming at all. And it reads as follows: To FGC, to everyone in the Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken, and Soul Calibur community, I wanted to notify everyone that I've become the leader and supervisor of the Bandai Namco fighting game esports strategy team today, which I didn't even know was a thing. Of course, I'll continue producing the game as well. And first, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who held and or participated in various tournaments this year. We at Bandai Namco are committed to expand the horizons of both tournament community scenes of these 3 franchises. We are already planning to have as many official tournaments as possible for next year while continue supporting tournaments held by the community. That's huge. That's a pretty big deal. Furthermore, we are dedicated to figure out ways we can assist tournaments and community activities in the future. So it seems like Harada and Bandai Namco are on our side. They're on the community side, they're on the general public side when it comes to this, not only with Tekken and Soul Calibur, which, you know, Harada already had his hands in, mostly with Tekken, but Dragon Ball FighterZ as well, which I said before, you know, it's all Shueisha. Bandai Namco, Arc System Works, they're all on our side. Toei, they're not concerned, they're not involved in this situation at all, neither is Akira Toriyama. But yeah, I said before, Bandai's on our side, and this just further proves that. He says, if you have any questions or inquiries about holding or participating in a tournament in your area, please contact the local Bandai Namco office in your respective region. The conditions and languages might differ between areas, so contacting local Bandai Namco offices is highly recommended. We'll continue to bring you ultimate experience through Bandai Namco fighting games next year. Thank you. So basically, Harada's going to be doing everything in his power to keep the games alive and well, continue to reach out, support communities, support tournaments, so on and so forth, which is a great thing to hear. It's definitely going to put a lot of people at ease. Now, this doesn't mean that, you know, Shueisha is going to stop what they're doing, or that they have stopped what they're doing, but it certainly means that he's going to make sure that he's going to do everything that he can to make sure that this game does not die anytime soon. So yeah, what he's gonna be able to do when it comes to this whole ordeal with Shueisha is unknown to me, but I definitely put all of my faith and trust in Harada to work things out to the best of his ability and see what he can do when it comes to this whole situation. But yeah, like I said, it definitely seems Bandai are on our side, and this is definitely something that's gonna put a lot of people at ease. I believe in, because like I said before, and again, I'm guilty of contributing to it myself. I feel like a lot of people definitely jumped the gun with the whole situation. Things definitely got out of hand, and that was the whole point of this video, is to clip some of that misinformation and kind of help people calm down a little bit. And I think this is definitely going to do that even more so. So I'm glad that I saw this, and this is why I decided to add it into the video. So all praise Lord Katsuhiro Harada. Harada-san is here for us. Harada-san is here for the people, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. And again, he's just one man. But he's definitely got the back of Bandai Namco, and between him and the company, I'm sure they'll be able to work something out. And like I said before, I don't think this whole thing with Shueisha is gonna get as extreme as people were thinking. But yeah, so this time for real, that's the end of the video. Hit this with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for all this content I'm bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all for today. And remember, nothing can happen to you swing the bat. Later.